Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, a place where we talk all things building resilience and personal growth, because for you, it is no longer just about surviving, it's about thriving, it's about building a legacy for yourself. Now today's topic is about resilience, and it happens to be a favorite topic of mine, and I have spoken about resilience in a few of my videos in the past. I've given you stories of what I've been through in my own life, and one of the story, if you remember, is about how I lost my husband and what I went through. In today's video, I'm going to take you through a different story, something else that I went through, something that afforded me the opportunity and the chance to strengthen my resilience muscle, because that is what resilience is. It's a muscle that you need to strengthen, to keep strengthening. Another thing that I think is crucial to mention is that resilience is a journey. It's a personal journey, a unique journey, because we all experience unique challenges, different challenges. What you're going through right now is not the same thing that I'm going through right now. It's all different, but there are three things that remain constant, or should remain constant, when it comes to building that resilience muscle. And the first thing is to do with your perspective, how you see your situation. How are you taking it? Yes, it's painful right now, it is challenging right now, but are you looking at it as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to learn? Or do you feel defeated? Are you thinking, oh, I might as well give up on myself? So what is your perspective? How are you looking at things? The second thing is to do with your reaction, your response to your challenges, because your reaction or your response is the real game changer. It can shift things in your favor, or things can just keep going south. Now, the third and last thing that should remain constant when it comes to building resilience is how you move forward. After going through what you've gone through, after experiencing adversity, after you've overcome your challenges and your obstacles, how are you moving forward? Because remember, I said it's a journey. It's something that you have to keep strengthening. You have to keep exercising over time. So moving forward will determine whether that skill, or will determine whether that resilience you've built during the process sticks for a long time. Because right now it might feel as if you are being resilient because you're still standing, you're going through this thing, and then you might face something different tomorrow, and then you crumble. And it's all because of how you decide to move forward after every experience, after every challenging situation that you face in your life. That's why I said it's a journey. It's something that you have to constantly exercise and build upon. So that's why in today's video, I'm going to tell you a story that you haven't heard before, and some of the responses will be similar, some will be different depending on the situation. But those three things I've mentioned remain the same. And I recorded this video a while back, so I sincerely hope that you find my story and the tips that I have for you in this video useful. As I go through what you need to do to build resilience, I'll be giving examples of myself and what I went through. For example, I'll tell you a story of the time when I came to England. I was still quite new in England, so I applied for a visa. And it happened that during my application, I made an error, which caused the Home Office to actually reject my application. So I got a letter through the post to say that my application had been rejected and that I was required to leave the country in 12 days. So you can imagine what I went through, the emotions and the feelings and thoughts that I went through at the time. As I read this letter, my world just came crashing down. I felt weak in the knees. At one point, I had to sit down on a bench just to take it all in and to steady myself. I was shocked. I was like, what the hell? What am I going to do now? And then I started panicking. I went through all these emotions. By the time I got home, I was an emotional wreck. I was thinking, what is going to happen to me now? I was like, my life is over. This is it. So I started imagining these things happening to me, immigration horror stories, them knocking on my door and dragging me out and taking me to the airport. After a while, I calmed down, and then I phoned a friend. This was somebody I trusted, and I told them everything. I said, this is what has happened. I don't know what I'm going to do. So as we talked, my friend and I started going through options as to what we could do to rectify the situation because I had made an error in my application and it was an innocent mistake that I had made. So all hope was not lost, but what was not clear was how I was going to rectify the situation and how I was going to notify the Home Office in time before the 12 days. And another thing that was going through my mind as I was processing this situation was I was asking myself, what is the worst that could happen? And my answer was, the worst that could happen was I would be sent home. It actually occurred to me that going back home was not the worst thing in the world. I was going back home. This was my home where I had grown up. So it wasn't that terrible. After all, they would send me home and then I would have to start all over again, look for a job and all that. So to me, this was the worst case scenario. So the tips that I have for you came about upon reflection, upon learning later on and realizing that actually what I did or what I went through was a process of building resilience. So I want to pause here and ask you, what is the worst case scenario in your situation? Whatever challenge that you're facing right now, whatever adversity that has come your way, what is the worst case scenario? I need you to answer that question because it is important. It is a crucial part of building resilience. What is the worst thing that could happen? Have you lost your job? Does that mean that the worst case scenario for you will be you don't have rent for next month, or you don't know when and if you'll be able to find money for food? Once you've identified what that is, then ask yourself this: is there anything right now that you can do about it to improve your situation? For example, if you lost a job, is there anything that you can start doing right this moment to improve your situation? By asking yourself what you can do right now to change your situation, you are developing problem-solving skills, because without problem-solving skills, you cannot build resilience. If you're facing a challenge, it means you've got a problem on your hands, and how you get out of the problem is to solve it. You can solve it yourself, or you can solicit other people to help you solve it. When you consult someone to help you with the problem that you have, it's all part of developing problem-solving skills. It means you recognize your limitations, you recognize where you can get help, and that you're taking the necessary steps to help that situation. For example, if you lost a job, is there anything that you can start doing right this moment to improve your situation or to make things a little bit better? If it is updating your CV or resume, as some call it, then why don't you do that? If it is going to knock on doors, asking for a job. I know some people, perhaps you've been an accountant and now you lost your job and you don't know where the money is going to come from. Ask yourself, could you do another job in the meantime whilst you look for another job? Is that something that you can do? Could you ask a friend to help you with some money? Could you go to the bank to ask for a loan? And if you can't think of something right now, is it possible to reach out to a professional who can help you? Reach out to your pastor or anyone within your social network, somebody who can help. I've often found that sometimes people suffer in silence, perhaps because they are embarrassed or they are ashamed. They don't want people to know what they're going through. They don't want people to judge them. But according to my experience, I have often found that what we think people will do or the way we think people will react is not how people will actually react when we approach them. And you must remember that no one in this world is immune to the harsh realities of this life, and people know that. They know that these things could happen to them as well. So once you realize that and understand that, you will find the courage that you need to ask for help. My next point when it comes to building resilience is acceptance. Yes, it is hard to embrace change, and some things are hard to accept, but that's exactly what we got to do. And it's a process, by the way, and we can come to this acceptance stage once we've allowed ourselves to go through the stages of grief. You want to get to a place where you can say, you know what, it is what it is. I have to accept that this is happening. I have to accept that this has happened. There's nothing I can do to change what has happened. While you can't change what has happened, while you can't choose what happens to you in this life, you can absolutely choose how you deal with it. You are in control of how you handle what happens to you. And once you've accepted it, then you'll be able to focus on other things, those things that are going for you, those things that are within your control. And you want to surround yourself with positive people, people who pour into you in a way that nourishes your soul, in a way that doesn't stress you out, in a way that doesn't dampen your mood. And last but not the least, have faith. I have found that when I'm faced with trials and tribulation, I like to turn to a higher power. I pray because it gives me comfort and it gives me hope. Some people are spiritual, so whatever you consider to be your source of strength, the thing that gives you hope, then now is the time to turn towards it. Now is the time to lean on that thing. In this life, I have found that there are some things that are beyond our understanding. Some things are beyond our comprehension. Because when things are happening to us, horrible things, we ask ourselves, why? Why me? But when we take the time to be silent and to harness and lean on that source of strength that I'm talking about, our spirituality, our godliness, then we will find peace despite everything. We will find courage to face whatever comes our way. We will find that hope that is crucial when we're facing adversity. Because without hope, we can't do anything. Without hope, we are crippled. So if it's prayer, meditation, expressing gratitude, just taking a walk in the forest and being in communion with nature, if that is your source of strength, then lean on that during this difficult time, because you need that right now. That's how you build resilience.